Hi, my name is Kuben and welcome to Rapid Fire Dev. Today we're going to be covering a Spring Boot application using MongoDB as a database. And yeah, it's going to be quick and fast. We're going to set it up using Spring Initializer, and we're going to use Maven for Dependency Manager. Java is the language, and version 2.3.1 for Spring Boot. I'm going to go and configure the application quickly. Then we can get it, the dependencies added and downloaded. We'll just call it Spring Mongo for now. And it's a demo project for Spring Boot with MongoDB. That's fine. It's a Java file. It's a Java file packaging, and it's going to be Java 8. Dependencies we need, we'll use Spring Boot DevTools, just provides faster restarts and library load. We're also going to add in Lombok to reduce the amount of code we write. We're going to add in Spring Web. We're also going to add in MongoDB, Spring Data MongoDB. In the next tutorial, I will be showing how to do testing with with MongoDB, but you can actually use embedded MongoDB database. So cool. Let's just kick off with these minimum dependencies. That's all we need to get this up and running. And this is pretty powerful when you do get it up and running. So let me generate the project quickly. Cool. Project is generated. Go into showing it in my Finder. All right. We have it here. I'm just going to unzip it in this folder, copy it into my normal workspace. Cool. And we're going to open it up with IntelliJ, but what I'm going to do is I prefer to use terminal to do this, so I'm just going to cd into my lessons workspace Spring Mongo. I'll use the idea command to open up the POM file, and yep, it'll open up IntelliJ. It's busy loading up. It'll download the dependencies quickly. It should be pretty fast because it should be cached in my Maven. That's practically done. Cool. So basically we got a project up and running. So right now I have in Docker, I have MongoDB running. Well, it's not running. I am going to start it up, but MongoDB, I have it in Docker, pointing to a volume that is set up. So I'm just going to start it up quickly. It's going to be running on 27017, which is the standard port for MongoDB. And if I start up the application, you should see, because of Spring Boot, it configures your application for you. If you have MongoDB in, it knows to look for localhost MongoDB, because by default, that is the settings that Spring Boot uses when it configures your MongoDB with Spring Data. So if you go into your POM file, you would see all these libraries being added. It's a Spring Boot starter data MongoDB, Spring Boot starter web. We have our dev tools, our Lombok, our Spring framework, the testing framework, and that's about it. Cool. So it's a very, very limited amount of dependencies, but the power that we can get out of this is going to be quite great. So initially, in these type of tutorials, I like to keep it structural to keep best practices when it comes to application design. So what I'm going to do first is set up a domain folder where it's going to contain all my entities. I'm also going to set up a quick repository folder, and add in a service folder and web folder. It's going to contain all my controllers, obviously my services, my repositories, and my domain objects. For this tutorial, I am going to create an object, a class that we'll call it post, which is going to be obviously a post object, and we're going to add a document annotation on top, which makes it a MongoDB document. And in there, we can give it a collection name, which we're going to make it posts. We're going to do an all argument constructor using Lombok. We're going to use a no argument constructor using Lombok. But that's about it for now. and and at data, because the getters and setters. Our lambda practically at runtime will automatically put in these methods for us, so we don't have to add them in. It's boilerplate code effectively. The fields I'll be running is a private string ID with the @id annotation, which is a MongoDB annotation, Spring Data, annotation, and that links back to MongoDB and ensures that this is set up as an ID that's auto generated on creation. We're gonna set up a subject for the post, subject, and we're gonna set up a message for the post. Cool. And we'll also set up, I think at this point, we'll just set up a hint, we'll call it likes, and we'll count the number of times the post is liked via the API and see it saved into the database. Cool. So first things first, in the application properties, even though the environment started up with MongoDB on localhost, we didn't really specify it name. So go into here, MongoDB database, we can specify database name. We'll call it Spring Mongo demo, and that will automatically create a new database in MongoDB with that name. Obviously, the database is running in Docker. I do have dbeaver running, so I will show you how the database looks. So let me start it up again. Cool, let's start it up. If I open up dbeaver, dbeaver is just a, I have the enterprise edition. It's basically just the GUI to access databases. Across to the screen. Cool. Yep, I'm already connected to my local database. I have it here. You can see that the database is not created yet. It will only get created once I process something into one of the tables. So if I go back into my code, let's go back to post. So practically post is set up. We don't have to add anything else. We can add the @field annotation, but by default, when you add that document, it knows that these are fields inside of that will be in the collection. But just for keeping standards, we'll add the @field annotation. You can also add in a specific name into the field, but for now we'll leave it blank because it'll take the name off the actual column. We need to add in a repository. So a repository is just it's built to effectively access the database through MongoDB effectively, and we can actually set up I'll show you. We'll call it post repository. We will extend the Mongo repository with the post object and the type of ID, which is string. You add repository annotation to it, and effectively that is done. So what's cool about this Spring repository or Spring Data repository is that it's an interface that you extend a set of instructions, which is effectively the blueprint for Mongo repository. Inside of Mongo repository, it has a set of methods that we can use by default. So when you actually run the application, it will implement these methods in Spring Boot. Cool, and that's effectively a repository setup for that entity. We can then add a service layer. This is not really a requirement, but I prefer to do it in any type of application. So if you're building an application, it's best to create a service layer and not expose your repository directly to your controllers, which we're going to create next. So if we create a service, we'll create a post service. First, we'll create an interface. The interface will just house effectively the blueprint, the methods that we will use eventually for our work process. I'm going to create an implementation. Click on interface. I'll just create a new folder, a new package. Cool. Inside of this package, add my implementation now. have an at service annotation on top of that object, which effectively makes it a service. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is when you make an at repository, it makes this object injectable by the rest of the classes as well. Same with adding the at service annotation. Cool. For now, all we're going to do is create a method that says get a list of posts, which is going to effectively be get all posts. Sorry, no need to add the public in. It's an interface, by default it is public, and the get all posts is created, and we will go and implement that method inside of our service, implement methods. We will then do an at AutoWide private. We bring in obviously the post repository, which is just done. We can then replace the return null with find all. Effectively, that's that. We could access our list of posts if any of them are created. In the web, we shall create a controller, a REST controller. So we create a Java class called post controller. And with that, we will say at REST controller, and we'll give it a path mapping of request mapping to this controller of, I will call it API v1, just for standard's sake. And we'll create our first method, which will be public list posts, and will be get all posts. Cool. Bring in, import this library, bring in the list, return a list of posts. We can auto-wire ourselves in, so if we auto-wire that in, private post service, post services in, we can do return.get all posts, and effectively that's now a method, but we have to add either request mapping or get mapping. Use get mapping, and we'll call this /post, because I'll be getting a list of posts, and that will be the first part of the application. We can now start up the application. Stop it, start. Because I'm using Spring Boot DevTools, I could have just compiled again and pressed play, but I restarted it, so now it's started up in port 8080. If I open up my browser, go to localhost port 8080, it should come up with a white page. If I go API v1 and go posts, it'll be a blank array because we haven't anything in it yet. So let's go do that quickly. So we're going to create a new method, and that's going to be a post method. We're going to post in single post, and we're going to call it create post. The request body for this method is going to be the actual post object, which is that. Inside of our service, we need to go create a new method, obviously. So first off, the post will return an object of post after saving, so we'll call it save post or create post. And cool. And we'll go into the implementation, and we'll quickly go and create this implementation. Cool. For create post, all we have to do is call the repository again and save the, sorry, I forgot to pass in the post object, which will change quickly. Save this post in. We don't have to do that, we're just going in, add the post into the post, create post method, and we can go back into our controller and say create post, passing in the post that's in the body, and this returns the actual post object that was created, but you should get an ID back, and that's effectively done. If I compile again, because of Spring Boot tools, it restarted the environment. Go back into the page. If I go to post, we have to use Insomnia, which to do the posting. We're going to do a post inside of there. We're going to post it to the URL. Post. We're going to have inside of the the body, which is of type JSON. We're going to pop in, we need a subject, which is going to be test1, and we're going to have a message, which is going to be test message, and we don't have to send the counter. The counter by default will be 0. The likes count, effectively, sorry, it has to be in quotes as well. Somnia works that way, so we have to quote everything. Cool, and we can send that in. Cool, it's created. The likes are 0. If we go into this method, you see the first one is created. Looks good. What we can do from here is create the like method, and that will be an update. So we can actually do a put mapping for this if you want, or we can do a get mapping, because we're not really posting any data in. I think for the sake of this, we'll just do a normal get mapping. And what we're going to do is get back the object when the likes happen, so you see the like increase. So effectively what we'll do is say post, because we do a post, we're going to do a like. So we can say, sorry, get mapping post, and we're going to like that post. And yeah, we're going to use the curly braces to have a path parameter. We're going to go into this, create the method now. So we're going to return back the post object when we're done with the increased like. And we're going to say post like post. With this, go into here, we're going to pass through the string ID, and we have to add a path variable, sorry, to it, so it maps this into this ID. We can then go to our post office again. Let's just copy that. We have to create a new method called like post, which returns a type post. So like post, this is passing a string of ID, and what we'll do here, go into the implementation, drag this implementation. For sanity's sake, what we would do, the like post method, and what we're going to do here, it's going to take the post repository get find one by ID. We're going to pass through the ID. That's going to return a new post. If not, it'll be null as an optional object, so we can return the post. If the post is null, if post equals null, then we shall return a null back to the screen because it's nothing to save. Else we can return get the post, say set the likes to equal post.getLikes +1. And we can take the post repository, save that specific post, where we can say post repository, sorry, post, which is done, and then return that actual post if everything goes well. Cool. That's effectively it. Oh, sorry, I forgot the semicolon. Cool. We have a controller. Back in the controller, we have to say like post, put in an ID, and this should work. Just compile it again, and it restarted already. So theoretically, if I go post, copy this ID, say like, we should see the likes increase every time we hit it. There you go. Okay, that covers this rapid fire dev tutorial, which effectively connected to MongoDB. If you go into my database explorer now, you'll be able to refresh this, see the database is created. There we go, Spring Mongo demo. Under here we have the collection that posts, and we have the one post that we did create. All done. Cool. If you do like the post, you can refresh in the database and it goes up. Cool. Thank you very much.